Hi guys, this is Ataaga from Ataaga.com, and today I'm doing a basic review of Project Hospital. Now, I've played this game quite a lot. I've reached the point where I don't want to play it anymore, and I've completed a few playthroughs by completing, especially on Sandbox. I've completed all the various departments, and I've hired doctors. I've done lots of cool stuff that this game allows you to do. So, how big is your hospital going to be? It can be a small clinic with only a single department. It's going to be tough to manage though. Or it could be a huge burgeoning hospital where there are multiple floors and multiple departments. Now, each of these departments, that's not the end of it. The departments have rooms, they have staff, and they need lots of equipment to work. So in this way, Project Hospital really makes you get an in-depth approach into how the field of medicine works. So basically, in Project Hospital, you have a number of choices. The first most crucial choice you'll have to make is whether you take a hands-on approach. You do this by controlling the examination, diagnosis, and treatment of your patients yourself. Or otherwise, you can watch the doctor do his thing, and the doctor personally handles the patients quite well. If you're not a doctor, I wouldn't really suggest taking a hands-on approach. So most of the time I didn't know anything about the diseases, about the examinations, about the various treatments, so it wasn't a good idea. But at least the game gives you that option. So right, and if you don't know, this has been designed by Oxymoron Games, and this is a great title. Let's go into the other aspects. How realistic is it? Now, basically, it's compared to other hospital building games like 2 Point Hospital, which is kind of quirky. This is different. This is basically completely based on reality, and a doctor might understand a lot of the stuff that goes on in this hospital, in Project Hospital. So as in real life, the departments have sub-departments, they require rooms, they require staff. It can make the game complex, and especially if you're managing a large hospital. Another feature in this is managing the prestige of your hospital. The better your hospital is perceived by the people and the staff, the larger the amount of patients you'll get, and there's some buffs, some advantages to having a good prestige hospital. Some of the insurance objectives also require you to complete a day in the hospital with a percentage of prestige. For example, if 90% of your prestige, if you have 90% of prestige by the end of the day, you're going to receive a bonus grant or stuff like that. Now, grants are a huge way to expand. They're one of the best ways to expand in this. Your hospital on its own is not going to be making a lot of money. So what you'll have to do is basically accept grants from your insurance partners. With the latest, there were a number of insurance goals. You can reach them, and you can have access to unique rewards because of those, by completing those, I mean. Now, again, how realistic is it? In terms of diseases, it features a large amount of diseases. But in proper doctory, in proper hospitals or usually clinics, around 80 to 90% of patients that come in are basically coming in for mild conditions like cold or fever, influenza, stuff like that. Usually there aren't really problematic diseases. So in that aspect, Project Hospital is not realistic. But would it be better if only these three types of problems, these basic problems people with these basic problems came to your hospital? I don't think so. They had to add extra diseases and different unique diseases to make the game, spice up the game, I guess. Right. So I'll do a basic pros and cons on this. Pros here, it features real symptoms, real conditions, real diseases, real treatments. Doctors and medical students should play this game. It's an awesome game for you to learn about, to get the gears in your brain working. If you're a doctor, I mean, all that you've learned is going to be in this game. And next, it has good entertainment value. In the end, it gets kind of, boring because you've done everything. But mostly the early game and while you're building up your hospital, it's epic fun. And next, the game has depth. It's with multiple departments. You can build it gradually and slowly if you want. And in fact, I need to talk about this. Like, building slowly and gradually gives you an advantage. You gain money at the end of every day. So basically, it's sometimes a really good idea to go slow with building stuff in your hospital rather than hurrying and rushing through. Right, so next, it has a lot of medical items you can choose from in the hospital, which are also based in reality. You can have 200 doctors, nurses, janitors, and other staff like technologists in your hospital. All your staff, from lowly janitors to highly educated surgeons, they all have different characteristics, and it's fun managing them. Some of them might have dirty feet, some of them might get hungry quicker, or the opposite, they won't get hungry, they don't need to rest as much. So lots of hidden perks or disadvantages for your characters, not your characters, basically your staff, really spice up the game. Next, it's not demanding on your graphics card. It runs smoothly on all outdated PCs. Maybe not all, but most of them. And it's a small file size, so you won't have to wait for a long time to install. Alright, some of the cons of this. Some problems in the game include the sandbox mode. It doesn't have that many options. For example, you can't decide how much cash your clinic starts with or how much you charge your patients for the simple and complex ailments. So I wanted more features in the sandbox, and I think 90% of the people will start with the sandbox and they're more likely to play it. And then as far as the tutorial goes, there's a tutorial like in any proper management game, but you can leave it. But I think it's a good idea to go through the first and second ones. The third ones you can try to learn later. But yeah, I think the tutorials are good. There are some bugs though. Before that I had a bug problem. Before the update, the latest update in Project Hospital, I had a bug problem. So you should stay wary of that. The doctors just keep treating one patient in their rooms, and ambulances don't work properly. They just stand with their sirens running right outside the hospital without delivering any patients, critically injured patients or not. And yeah, it can be a hassle. Something I also liked, I think I shouldn't put this in cons though, but yeah, I like your patients could die, and that provided some intense challenge in this game. You had to do your best to save patients, and this was really entertaining. Like your patients would come with complex cases, and you had to do your best to make them survive. They'd collapse in the hospital, they'd collapse in the washrooms, they'd come with really complex ailments. Anyway, back to cons. It can get confusing to manage during the late game. The hospital, as it grows, you don't know what's going on everywhere, and it can get confusing to manage. And the most confusing part to manage is prestige. It's hard to maintain a really good prestige, and it's not easy. I think I found another good point. There are a number of insurance companies you can contract, and each company has a different kind of tree. It's not really a tree, but a kind of tree that you need to complete. Some missions there are around 15 insurance objectives. One of them might be to treat, let's say, 10 patients in a particular department. Another insurance objective would be to reach prestige at the end of the day for a certain department. So that adds a lot of flavor to the game. That's really interesting. Anyway, back to cons. For some gamers, the learning curve is a little bit annoying. It can put them off. You have to be willing to sit for many hours to learn this game before you can make your own hospital, and that might put some people off. I know people don't like Crusader Kings and European Universalists because of the cluttery interface and so many buttons, so many icons, so much stuff to do, and this is going to be pretty much the same. I already mentioned this, I think. The final tutorial can be confusing and a little buggy. And there's the ambulance bug and the doctor bug, where the patient stays in the doctor's room and he isn't being treated. Now I know this to be true of the old version of Project Hospital, but when I did the update, I never had the problem again. Neither problem, nor the ambulance problem, nor the doctor problem. And finally, the last thing, there is a problem with camera angle sometimes. Usually you can lower the walls and play with the wall settings to know what's behind those walls, but a lot of times it causes problems and you just can't really rotate your camera properly. I don't think you can rotate your camera at all though. Yeah, I don't think you can. I played some time ago. It's been I think a month since I did my Project Hospital walkthrough. I did a complete walkthrough of Project Hospital. I did video upon video which no one really liked, got me any subscribers or anything else. So anyway, so that wraps up our review of Project Hospital. And if you like it, like and subscribe. Visit our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter links, and you can check out the rest of our videos, or I'll put a link in there with the link of the first video of my project hospital walkthrough, and I'll link you to it in the description below. Alright, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. This is Ataaga from Ataaga.com. I love my job. I love interacting with people. Please just, like and subscribe. Visit Ataaga.com. Thanks. Bye.